Another page on the Black American site that I created is a secular alternative to the Black church. I still consider myself someone who believes in God, but I feel like as more Black people become atheist, agnostic, and even spiritual, in a sense that they still believe in God but don't want to go to church, there needs to be some type of alternative, and none of y'all are doing it. So I kind of took the time to try to figure out how could we keep the elements that we've had in the Black American community throughout the decades, throughout the centuries, but still align with people who do not want to commune in a edifice, in a church. So the idea is keeping the community that the Black church provided. In keeping the community, we can create spaces for fellowship, activism, and support. So we replace church with intellectual salons, community service, or social brunches that maintain the communal bonding of Sunday service. Spirituality without theism, ancestral veneration, honoring elders and historical figures, nature and cosmic connection, finding awe in science and the universe. Meditation and mindfulness, adopting secular mindfulness, yoga, or African diasporic practices as ritual without deity worship. Social justice as sacred duty, activism as a moral calling. So the civil rights, BLM, and mutual aid are framed as ethical imperatives, not divine mandates. The beloved community, building equity as a humanist mission. Gospel music and secular appreciation, have aesthetic cultural love, enjoying gospel music for its historical and artistic value without theological belief. I do see a lot of people making videos that even though they deconstructed from the Black church, the Christian church, they still feel the heart posture and the feeling from listening to gospel music, which I feel like it's fine, and people are finding it to be fine. I've seen even on YouTube comments of people who are from like Europe or even in the states where they say that they are atheists or they are agnostic, but they still love gospel music. Soul and R&B as secular gospel, appreciating artists who blend spiritual themes with humanist passion. The interesting thing about this, if you listen to KevOnStage's interview with Fred Hammond, if you watch the Clark Sisters movie, there's been a lot of talk about how gospel borrowed from R&B and R&B borrowed from gospel, and that was because a lot of R&B artists grew up in the church. So as people continue to leave the church, it'll be interesting what happens to Black American genres, Black American music, and how people will still tap into that soul without being surrounded by like mic tosses, choir rehearsal, and a lot of skills that you learn in a Black church. Black musicians are known to be some of the best musicians in the world, so that will be interesting to see in the future. Rituals and rites of passage, I think this is something that in general in the Black community we should consider. That is why we're all so disconnected, because we don't have these rituals and rites of passage that connect us and show us that we all, not we all, but like a lot of us think in the same ways. And sometimes we kind of find out through having conversations with other people or through social media, like, oh, you do that too? Oh, okay, that's cool. So non-religious celebrations, secular baby naming ceremonies, homegoing funerals focusing on legacy rather than heaven, and Juneteenth as a liberation holiday. Kwanzaa as a cultural alternative. We know some about the founder of Kwanzaa, so if there was to be another holiday created, that would be fine. But emphasizing the 7 principles without religious doctrine. Humanist testifying and storytelling, so that could be through, instead of a testimony service, it could be through podcasts and oral tradition. The Nod and Vibe Check carry the Black oral traditions in secular spaces. Black free thought literature, so writers like James Baldwin or Ta-Nehisi Coates critique religion while upholding moral inquiry. Humor and cultural critique, comedy as catharsis. Comics like W. Kamau Bell explore Black atheism with wit. Church trauma discussions, openly processing religious harm while valuing community. Ethical living without dogma, humanist morality, basing ethics on empathy, reason, and Black liberation theory instead of scripture. Legacy of Black freethinkers, embracing figures like Zora Neale Hurston or Langston Hughes. These practices help Black atheists and agnostics retain the cultural warmth, communal care, and moral focus of Black spirituality while rejecting supernatural beliefs. Let me know what you think.